Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nurul Hasfaliana binti Muhammad Nasir. My metric number is A19A0740. Today, I would like to present about my part introduction and 1.0. For introduction, statistic is a form of mathematical analysis that use quantify model, representation, and synopsis for a given set of experimental data or real-life study. Statistics study methodologies to gather, review and draw conclusions from data. Business statistics take the data analysis tool from elementary statistics and apply them to business. For example, estimating the probability of a detect coming of a factory time or seeing where sales are headed in the future. The objective of study is to find and explain the value of measure of central tendency, measure of variation, and measure of position. We calculate manually using formula given in chapter 2 until chapter 4. Hence, we must determine the shape of data distribution. Next, we also need to use SPSS to calculate and compare the answer with manual method. The data for this study we got from Graduate Tracer Study at 2017. We taking 30 sample size which is in one categorical variable that consists of 5 higher education institutions. Then we choose sample data about the employment sector. The data we use is numerical variable. These data were quantitative variable which is in discrete variable. Next is constructing frequency distribution. In this part, we have 5 steps. Step number 1 is decide on the number of classes. A useful recipe to determine the number of classes, k is the 2 to the rule such that 2 power of k greater than n. There were 13 number of graduations, so n equal to 13. If we try k equal to 4, which means we will use 4 classes. Then n 2 power of 4 equals 16, somewhat less than 30. Hence, 4 is not enough classes. If we let k equal to 5, 2 power of 5 is 32, which is greater than 30. So, the recommended number of classes is 5. Next, step number 2. Determine the class interval or weight. To get class interval or weight, we must use formula class weight equal max entry minus minimum entry over number of classes. Next, step number 3 is set the individual class limit. The minimum data entry is a convenient lower limit for the first class. To find the lower limit of the remaining 5 class, add the class width to the limit of each previous class. The upper limit of class, which is 1 less than the lower limit of the second class. Next, step number 4, to make a tally mark for each data entry in the appropriate class. Alright, for the last step is the number of tally mark for a class is the frequency for that class. To get relative frequency, we must use formula relative frequency equal to class frequency divided by sample size. To get cumulative frequency, first frequency must plus to the second frequency and follow until class number 5.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi, my name is Nokamila binti Manap. My metric number A19A0427. I want to present about graphical method. First, histogram table and graph. Histogram graph are chosen as the graphical method since it is a bar graph that emphasizes the distribution of values in frequencies. Next, the horizontal scale is the midpoint of the data values and the vertical scale will be the frequencies of the class. Below shows the table and represents frequency histogram graph. Next, we move to the frequency polygon table and graph. A frequency polygon is a line that emphasizes the continuous change in frequencies. Next, the horizontal scale is the midpoint of the data values and the vertical scale measures the frequencies of the class. The graph represents the frequency polygon graph.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Shamira binti Muhammad Zawabi. My metric number A19A0432. Okay, today I would like to continue the presentation about the measurements of central tendency. For this part, we must find 3 points, mean, median, and mode. Okay, based on the table, we use midpoint divide frequency to find fx. Okay, so we must find mean, mode, and median. Means the formula for mean is x equal total fx multiplied by n. Okay, for the mode lm plus different one multiply different one plus different two. Divide by c. For median lm plus n per 2 minus total fm minus 1 and then multiply by fm divide by c. Okay, to find this solution we must use this formula. Okay, mode is the data entry that occur with the greatest frequency. And then median is the value that lies in the middle of the data when the data set is ordered. So this is the table that I have the shape of distributions. Okay, this graph, the shape we'll get from the answer median, mode, and mean. Okay, keyword to the right, and that's mean more than mode, more than mean. Okay, I would like to describe about these shapes distributions. The shape of a distribution is described by its number of peaks and by its position of symmetry, its tendency to skew, or its uniformity. The shape of distribution will be normal in a bear shape when the mean, median, and mode are equal to each other, but it is uniform where all entry or classes have equal frequency. The shape will move to the right because the mean greater than median and mode. So this is positive skewed. If the mean big than the median and the median is bigger than the mode, the shape distribution will skew to the right. Lastly, if the shape of distribution skews to the left, it means that the mean is smaller than the median and the median is smaller than the mode. For this report, all after our calculation manually and using SPSS, the shape of distribution show skewed to the right. Okay, next slide is what is measure variations. Measure of variation quantities that express the quantity of variation during a period. Second, variation is usually described as spread or dispersions. To differentiate it from systematic trend or differences. For the third, measures of variation are either properties of a probability distribution or sample estimate. Okay, next, what is ranger? Ranger is one of the most basic measures of variations. It is different between the small data item in the set and the large. The formula we use to get the range is maximum data entry minus minimum data entry. So, in this table, I already highlight what is the maximum and minimum. So therefore, the range number of Malaysian graduate by employment sector according to highest education institution is 2017 is 26,196 people. Okay, for the next is standard deviation. Standard deviation, this formula. This formula is very simple and we must using the calculator to find this answer. Okay, therefore the sample variant for the numbers already show for the screens. So this very simple and very fast to make the calculation if we using the calculate. Okay, the next measures of position. Measure of position is to remind the data must be sorted from lowest to the highest. The measure of position used is quartiles, which divide the data set into 4 equal parts. Okay, this the solution to find the quartile 1 and quartile 3. Okay, by using this quartile, we will get the answer. Okay, the last answer is interquartile range. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mawarni Ala binti Muhammad Fauzi and my matrix number is A190268. For this assignment, my part is statistical analysis using software SPSS. In this part, I will summarize 4 things that number 1 is numerical descriptive measures, hypothesis testing, correlation analysis, and confidence interval. For numerical descriptive measures, 3 things that we summarize. Number 1 is measures of tendencies, number 2 is measures of variation, and number 3 is measures of the positions. For central tendencies, SPSS results show that 3 things: mean, median, mode. For variation, the SPSS show that the sample standard deviation, variance, range, minimum, and maximums. For the position, SPSS show that percentiles for 25%, 50%, and 75%. Number 2 is hypothesis testings. Hypothesis testing is a process based on some sample data and probability theory to conclude either the hypothesis is reasonable and should not be rejected or otherwise rejected. Analysis of variance ANOVA is a collection of statistical models used to analyze the difference between the group means that the associated procedures such as variance among and between the groups. In ANOVA, the terms of treatment is used to identify the different population being estimated. A treatment is used as a cause-specific source of variation in the set data. Number 3 is correlation analysis. Gaussian correlation measures the direction and degree of linear straight line relationship between 2 variables. By using SPSS, the Pearson correlation analysis shows the number Malaysian graduate by employment sector according to the higher education institution in 2017. The correlation is significant at the level 0.01, which is the both of them is signing two-tailed. Hence, the Pearson's correlation shows that 0.05 and 0.01 two-tailed. Number 4 is confidence interval. Confidence interval is a range of value within which the population parameter is expected to occur.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Tengku Muhammad Nur bin Tengku Rahim. My metric number is A19A0936. My focus point is theoretical modeling. It is a little misleading to name only one thing in this course, statistical modeling, because all statistical inference involves a statistical model of some description. For example, a CI and hypothesis test. A difference between sample means use a statistical models for the behavior of the mean different over repeated random sampling. We use the word statistical modeling to highlight the material in this theme because the focus on regression models which were developed to control for other variables and also for prediction purpose. And so we have the idea of selecting and choosing between models based on how well they fit the data, or put another way, modeling. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and hi.
My name is Muhammad Afiq Afnan, and my metric number is A19A0321. So my part is talk about conclusion. Right. In conclusion, by complete this assignment, we had analyzed and discussed all measures using statistical package for the social science. As PSS output, our group members learn how to generate each value using the SPSS output include finding the ANOVA analysis, multiple regression, confidence interval, and pressure correlation. We can see that different type of employment status can affect different type of employment sector. We were glad to improve our statistic skill by using this software. Last but not least, all of the statistical research taught us that every single data can be recognized using the specific formula. So that's all from me. Thank you.